Thank you for listening to the Fraidy Cat Podcast. I'm Kelly McFarland.
I'm Carolyn Plummer.
And we're back with another episode for you this week. We had big plans, didn't we, Care?
I guess.
Did we?
I don't
No,
remember.
I mean, we never have big plans. Let's rephrase. I'm sorry. I was a little I overshot it. We didn't have big plans. But we have a great guest.
We do.
And then we decided we were going to, just have some, softballs of stories. Not our guest, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then we printed the exact same article.
Yep.
Yep, we did it. Let's introduce the guest, and then maybe we don't even have to talk about these articles. Fair?
Why would I research and then not talk about it?
You know what?
It's
You're
gonna
a stickler.
take 10 minutes.
You're a stickler.
And then we can get into the other thing we want.
Oh, yeah, the other thing. Well, the other thing that you two want to talk about, and I will
Absolutely.
be on the ride. We have our guest with us this week on the podcast, a friend, a favorite. I don't even know what to say. We love you so much.
Colleague.
Colleague.
A
Yeah,
colleague.
that's a word.
I love that word. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah, hilarious, a talented, hilarious, jack of all trades. If I was honestly going to
Wow.
say, you have a podcast of your
Rock
own.
on tour.
Yes, you're like,
That's France.
I mean, I think now you've taken it too. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
kidding.
like, outlaw, jazz man.
Hedonist.
Take it easy, man. It's our very good friend Will Noonan
Hey,
is with us
y'all.
today.
I'm so happy to be here, guys,
Well,
with you two.
Thank you.
Two of my favorite women in comedy.
Yes.
And I said, I've noticed people are saying female a lot now. I feel like that's kind of weird.
I actually
Thank
got
you.
booked on a show, and the booker said, I got to start using the females.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm so glad you called.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm like,
Thanks for calling.
we talking livestock or human beings
It
here?
was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's a weird
weird.
thing, but
took the
so
good.
psyched to be here with you guys. Just chilling, not
Yeah.
doing what we normally do, which is pacing green rooms, fight over the last bit of drugs that's there.
Oh, yeah. That's we
and,
totally all do that.
Yeah, we
Preach
just
about
exhausted.
getting the bullet.
the amount of drug fights we've had, Kelly.
Gosh, you and I just throwing down
Like,
about
give
our
me the drugs, the hard drugs.
I need your drugs. Yeah, we're famous for it.
Oh yeah, known for.
Yeah.
it.
Why are you holding out on me?
Carolyn
Oh,
does not
yeah.
even a fight 'cause she's done them all by the time I get there.
I don't have
I
any
just
left.
want to quickly point out that the two of you have on T-shirts tonight that
T-shirts
are
on.
very cute. Carolyn, you're wearing the Great Kazoo.
Gazoo.
Gazoo? Is it Gazoo?
Well, on this shirt it
The
is.
Martian, right?
Wasn't it? I thought it was Kazoo.
Hello,
on,
dum-dums.
Yeah, on the.
I think it's Gazoo.
Really?
It
And-
says
well,
on her
this is-
Can
shirt.
you get a fact check on that? I don't know.
This is
Is it a knockoff?
no,
It's a Flintstone knockoff. It's a deep cut.
no. I think it's Gazoo.
I don't know. You're gonna look it up, aren't
Bunch
you?
of people are listening
I
right
can
now,
look
like,
it up.
that's Gazoo!
God, I always thought it was Kazoo.
my
I'm
phone.
not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying.
His cousins call him Kazoo.
Well, this shirt is Asian inspired.
My
so
friends
maybe
call
we-
me. My name is Gazoo, but my friends call me Kazoo. Why? Cousin. Anyway, I'll Google it right now. And what's your shirt? Gasoline Forever.
This is guy David Freiberger. This is his cause. He doesn't want gasoline ever banned in the United States.
Oh, he's not switching.
So
to the
you're
electric.
wearing
So I
it.
wear his shirt because I love the guy.
Did you pay for that shirt?
I do. I pay for it. I have like a few of these.
Oh, nice.
And it's one of those shirts you buy late at night,
Yeah.
not
Yep.
thinking about it, and then it shows up, and then you're like, I need a comfortable shirt, and then it's one of those ones that people talk to you about, like
It's
people
good
in
quality.
stores.
I just touched it.
nice
It's good
cloth.
quality.
People come up to you and like, gasoline forever.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well,
It's exactly
And
what
you're
it
like,
says.
I'm not ready to defend
yeah.
a whole like argument against electric vehicles or anything.
Well, can we talk about your car then for a
Yeah.
second?
Oh.
Because
oh, yes, twist my arm.
I mean, go check out Will Noonan's Instagram because you've been putting some stuff up. Tell us about your car.
Well, I bought a car that was in terrible condition for $500. It didn't run or anything like that. And me and my buddy Rich Condon sort of brought it back to life. We rebuilt the engine.
Well, say what kind it is.
It's a Mustang, a Ford Mustang, 1995.
It's a sexy car.
Sexy, It looks like a Hot Wheels car.
It's convertible,
Yeah,
right?
it's convertible.
Did you have to tow it or did you?
Yeah, no, it had to be towed
Yeah.
to my parents' house because I live in the city. I didn't even have a driveway at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like one of those things where I'm like, Mom, I hadn't done this in like 10 years, or maybe 15 years. I'm like, Mom, so I need a favor.
Can I put my car in the
I'm
driveway?
gonna put a shitbox car that I bought in your driveway for an indefinite amount of time, probably
I'll
years.
fix it, Mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it up. It's
I'll
gonna
fix
run.
it.
No one thought I could get. That was the best part.
Yeah.
It was like everyone was like, "Was bitten off more than you can chew this time. This isn't bowling or one of his other former
Right.
obsessions.
I forgot you.
He can't
rolled.
work this one, but with the help of Rich, we got it going. And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You posted a video the other day of you putting the top down, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's taking that car out.
yeah, I brought it to Giggles this weekend.
Oh my gosh, I love
yeah,
that.
that was the most I think I'd ever driven it in one go.
Did everybody come out and look at it?
No, I was like, I thought the whole restaurant would when I pulled up.
I mean, that seems aggressive.
I was like,
But
come on.
maybe like 3 people.
No, I think people. It was like, yeah, people like told me they saw it on the way in. But the funny thing was, the reality of a convertible and the dream of a convertible,
Yes.
very different things. Like,
Yeah.
I learned that night. First of all, sun goes down, temperature drops about 25, 30 degrees. Now you're freezing. Second, the highway, when you have no roof or windows around you, it's a pretty scary place to be.
Yeah.
I was like, there were Mack trucks and things going by.
Yeah.
And you see a truck like a tow truck, right? When you drive by a tow truck, you're like, that's a tow truck. When you can hear all that stuff rattling 3 feet away from your ear, you're like, wow.
That's my death.
No, that's pretty scary.
I used to want a Jeep.
Hot driving
with a
is
soft
dangerous.
top. I wanted a Jeep with a soft top for the summer. And then I went on a road trip with my friend who had one. And we screamed at each other the entire time like we were in a helicopter because the soft top was rattling. And I was like, I don't want a Jeep anymore.
Yeah, they can be but I still like enjoyed it, but it was funny. I was like, oh man. I was like, it kind of smells like exhaust,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe because I'm on a highway with no windows or roof. But it's super fun. And I love driving it. And it reminds me of, speaking of ghosts and stuff, like I didn't realize until I got it and sat in it that it was the car my high school girlfriend drove. So I was like, oh, some weird part of my brain was like, I want that car again because she used to drive around and I used to love it.
And so you got one.
But yeah, I mean, have you ever heard of a 40-year-old guy buying a car from his childhood because he's trying to fill some type of hole?
No.
They
should do a
I've
study
never
on
heard
that.
a thing about that. Or growing his hair long or anything.
I mean, I feel
Wearing leather
like-
jackets. I mean, it's just weird.
I mean, it's just strange, you know. Look, if that's all you're doing, then I think we're okay.
No, we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really just taking that opportunity. Like, when you're married, it's like, go ahead, buy a convertible, wear a leather jacket.
I mean, honestly.
See how much it takes till she leaves. That's the game.
I'm just testing you every
Just
day, babe.
Test.
How long have you been married now?
Like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, marriage is hard. No one tells you.
It is a thing. I think it's tough as a stand-up because all the jokes you've heard all those years about marriage stay with you. You know what I mean? So you're like, how much of this is true and how much of this is exaggeration?
I'll never do that.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's bitter or something, and then you're like, marriage is, I don't know, it's just crazy. We just, big things like moving and stuff like that was, it's crazy. But without my wife, I was thinking this today when I was brushing my teeth. I was like, without my wife, I'd probably be standing in like a filthy bathroom right now, brushing my teeth with like a disgusting old toothbrush.
I'm really glad you acknowledged that.
But I'm like, here I am in this beautiful bathroom with like stuff I don't even know what it is. It just makes the place smell better. It's like glass things with like sticks coming out of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
it looks like perfume with like sticks in it.
Yeah.
That's just there, and I'm like, I would never have bought that.
That's a diffuser.
And I'm like, it makes me a diffuser.
Yeah. Reeds. They're not sticks. They're reeds.
They're reeds. Yeah.
You put them in,
Because they're
and there's
hollow,
oil,
and
and
there's
they
oil, and it
crawl
makes-
up and
they
make everything
diffuse
smell
it.
better.
See.
It's
Without
like
my
Oh,
wife,
Will, the things we could teach
the
you.
things-
Do you have
yeah.
other questions, Will?
Gasoline forever and diffusers
Yes,
forever.
it's better than a renews it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's fancy.
true.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. There are certain things, like I haven't been married that long. I'm 8 years, or will be 8 years. There are certain things where I'm like, I would be shoveling right now.
Yeah.
I shoveled myself for so long that I was used to it.
I'm still single.
I know. I'm
shovel
so
mine.
sorry, Caroline.
It's
I'm
no,
so
it's
sorry.
fine.
It's
I know, this
really
is
a
kinda
treat,
fucked
though.
up.
We were talking earlier. I kind of always pick the wrong horse, but that's just my cross.
Well,
to
pick
bear.
a horse that shovels because it is a game changer. Yeah, he won't let me go outside.
Oh, what's that like?
He's like, I'll be like, I'll come help you, and he's like, no, stay inside where it's warm.
You're like, I'm gonna go.
I know.
drink
I'm like,
cocoa.
and at first I'd fight him on it. Now I'm like, well, are you gonna shovel our driveway or what?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
right.
Although that's the thing
Yeah.
about marriage, I think is true. Is
Yeah.
like you are a team, so eventually you're gonna stop with the whole like fanciful talking
Right.
and just like be
Yeah.
straight all the time. You know?
Those sticks in the glass don't make smells anymore. You
We're-
better go
yeah.
get some more.
running out of sticks.
Yeah.
Those sticks had dried up.
So we are we talk about everything that scares you on this podcast, and we
Death.
I know,
Death.
I know, and then
Disease.
we invite the outside,
Flying.
everything that basically, if it doesn't lock, I'm afraid of it. So yeah, so is there anything that scares you, and it can be anything? Is there anything that scares you beyond?
Oh, like a real true phobia.
anything, yeah, anything that's like a for real scary thing.
I don't know. I get geez, I don't know. Sometimes I don't like to be locked into a place. I get nervous about that. Like
Oh.
little small spaces. So like claustrophobic a little
Okay.
bit. Like it's weird though. In some ways I kind of can deal, but it all depends on the thing. But I'm a control freak, I would say. So it's kind of like whenever I'm on a plane and they like close the door, I like have to take a deep breath and go like, you are now like on this plane until they say you can get off this plane,
Yeah.
and you just have to deal with that.
Yes, Ativan helps.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's what.
Yeah.
I'm okay on a big plane now.
Yeah.
You put me on like that small flight to Nantucket, I am telling lies to
Oh, yeah.
sit near the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they always, I'm 4'11", so they try to put me in that front seat,
I don't want
Yeah.
to sit.
and
up
I'm
front.
buxom. So, which is a polite way of saying I'm not light.
That's another
your
reason why the
boobs are on
pilot
the
wants you
dash,
next
is
to
that
him.
Oh, thank you. No, but they always try to put me in the front, and I'm like, first of all, I can't fit through that tiny window. So
Yeah.
if shit goes sideways, this is my coffin now.
Interesting.
So I am always
That's
like,
a
See,
fun
we're so different because I'd be like, put me right next to the pilot.
Really?
If he has a heart
I
attack,
don't
I'll
wanna
grab
see-
the thing, and
Oh,
even if I
yeah.
crash, at least it's me crashing this thing.
oh, see, I'm like,
No.
I
Yeah.
will never fit through that tiny escape hatch window.
Yeah.
My bucket.
I'm
will
all
get
about.
caught.
See, I don't expect the plane to crash. I'm not even afraid of that.
Oh.
I just don't like the whole like. I'm like basically under law. I'm like JetBlue owns me until like we
Yeah.
get to our destination.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like
That's
if I
fair.
decide
Yeah.
like, hey, this stinks, and I want you to land at the next airport, I'm just gonna get tased, put on the no-fly
yeah.
list.
Oh, they're gonna
And
Yeah.
on,
duct
like,
tape
Zip
you.
CNN.
ties. Yeah.
So it's like there's no other time in your life where you really relinquish so many of your personal human rights
That's true.
all at once.
Yeah.
You know? And I always get like semi-molested by security, like, cause it.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I'm an idiot, and I always like leave something in my pocket or forget something, and they always go like, "Come on, step over here for like the second step," and like, "Do you consent to a full body?" Da 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 da, and I'm
Sure,
like,
touch
"Go
my junk."
ahead."
All
And then once they do
right.
it to you once, now you're like on another list of like,
Ah.
well, you just can't be trusted.
Are you the type that gets sketched out like in a cab in the back seat because you're not driving?
A little bit, yeah. Like if I'm with another comedian and we're going to a gig and they're like, "I'll drive halfway and you drive," I'm like, "I'll just drive the whole way there and back."
That's what I do too.
Yeah.
I love to drive.
I'd rather just drive. It
Yeah.
occupies me. When me and my wife travel by car a lot, we go to DC a lot. She's from there, so we usually go there like at least once a year driving, usually twice, and we always do it the same way because like we get up super early to go. She starts and drives like the first hour and a half while I sleep. And then I wake
It's all
Already.
you.
and then I wake up
Yeah.
somewhere in Connecticut, have like a cup of coffee, and drive the rest of the way to DC. And it works perfectly for both of us. Because at the beginning, she's all awake and nervous, and I'm like exhausted. And then she gets bored with it, and then I'm like ready to just put on the comedian hat and just be
Yes.
like, I'm just looking at this road and not. It's like almost like meditation,
It
a long
really is.
drive.
I
you
do
know?
my best thinking in the car.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my best drinking.
My thinking and my drinking.
And
I've
my
sworn a
best
couple
singing.
times, by the way. Is that uncouth to swear?
No,
on
we
this?
swear
No,
on
we
this.
swear.
Oh, okay.
We were going to, and then we didn't.
Fucking sweet.
We didn't.
We're
We
like
just-
pirates.
we're awful. So we're gonna plow through our stories. We're gonna plow through it, right, Carolyn? Oh, she just so.
The word plow is aggressive.
Thank you.
That plow, yeah.
And by the way, you talked about our T-shirts. I just want to say, you know what you're giving off right now?
Suburban mom.
I was gonna say, art teacher, like picking up a package at home on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
That is so specific.
UPS art teacher's house, and you're like, oh.
I was painting.
I was doing some watercolors just for me. Just for me.
Yeah, I did but yeah.
Don't you teach art at the local school? I
Yeah.
do, but it's the weekend.
It's all about, it's for me. It's for me.
Is that?
Yeah, I kind of am. Or I teach at one of those paint night things.
Paint night.
Oh my God.
Because it's fun.
Networking
It
for
is
couples.
not fun. Kelly made me go to paint night once. It's so stressful.
I know.
I couldn't keep up, and we painted so many lily pads. I couldn't take a break. I had to keep painting lily pads to get caught up.
I find it funny that
So
everyone paints the
stressful.
same picture. It's just kind
I
of
do
weird.
too. And then people pose with the same
Yeah.
picture. And then
And
what if
they're
you
all
live
different.
together?
Yeah.
Now you have two of the same picture. Like, it doesn't really make sense. That makes me feel like I'm being trapped.
It's a little.
My will.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
honestly,
absolutely.
I'm like, two photos that are two paintings the same?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that is true. I forgot. You couldn't take the break.
I couldn't take the break because I had to catch up on my lily pads. I was like, I fucking hate lily pads now.
And she said that out loud.
That's
I
kinda-
did.
yeah.
I was mad. I
Yeah.
was mad. I
You're
was
like, this isn't relaxing.
it's
at
supposed to be
all.
relaxing, and I can't even drink because I'm painting lily pads.
Lily pads.
Well, we wanted to talk about haunted vessels. And one of the things that kind of brought this to the surface is I just started doing cruise ships. And
Oh.
yes. Oh, the hat came
Oh, the hat's
off.
coming off for that.
I don't,
They're haunted by comedians.
I'm not going to go out very often.
There's
you
people.
know,
There's ghosts on the cruise ships and people who are soon to be ghosts.
say that again. They're really fun.
Exactly.
I'm having a good time. However, I did a 2-week run not too long ago, and they were telling me that when people die on the ship, they just put them
In a
in
freezer.
the freezer
Yeah.
until they can put
What
them
are they
somewhere.
don't bury people at sea much anymore.
That's why chicken tenders taste a
No.
little different on a cruise ship.
That's why I did hear, and I don't
They're
even
in
know.
that freezer.
I don't
Do
know
you
if
put
Is there
them in
Gary
the
in this?
salad bar freezer?
I don't even. Is this panko? Close. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but I don't know if people were teasing me, but some people I met on the ship that are there full time, they were like, "Well, you always know if someone has passed away because there's a lot of extra ice cream at night because they had to make space." And I'm
I
like,
think
that
there's a
can't
morgue.
be true.
That sounds so like a.
If there's a
they're
way-
hazing you,
Yeah,
you
they're
know, like let's go
the
mess
second,
with the new comedian.
The second pool is on the
If people
15th
can
deck.
surf on your cruise ship, I'm sure there's a morgue somewhere with a couple
they weren't
spots for
surfing on
bodies.
That is an interesting thing, though. Like, it'd be funny. It'd be cool if they could kind of convert whoever dies' room into like a little temporary morgue for them until they bought the room for the whole trip. They didn't say dead or alive.
Just
You know,
put
it's like
that air
keep them in
conditioner
bed.
down
Yeah.
all the
Throw
way.
some ice packs on them.
Oh wow!
Maybe that is what they do.
Maybe there's some sort of device that you could invent.
Like a quick.
I mean, you just got a Mustang revived.
Yeah, we brought it back to life.
I think you could build some
Easily.
sort of invention that is.
Do it before- I can do it
isn't
overnight.
your wife a nurse?
She's a physical therapist.
I mean, that's a doctor.
That's a doctor,
actually.
yeah.
So can't you take your doctor wife and then like
I call her that all the time.
Dr. Wife.
I'm like, Dr. Wife,
doctor wife?
inspect this.
Yes, Will comedian.
Yeah, as a hypochondriac, somewhat, it is great to have Dr.
I
Wife
would
around.
think,
Yeah.
right? Does she
Sometimes-
have a prescription for it?
Sometimes she doesn't, but sometimes she takes out the stethoscope and just like
Listens.
listens for stuff and calms, soothes me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. When I had COVID, I was like, I went through like the 7 stages of grief, like all in like an hour. When I found out I had COVID, I was like, oh my God, like this, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be on a ventilator and then I'm gonna have to cancel all my gigs. And I was like freaking out. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Stages of
I
grief.
went through all these
Yeah.
like things. Maybe if I do this, I won't have it. I'm taking multiple tests, all that. But anyway.
Why?
Yeah. But then I was
Yeah.
just sick.
Yeah. COVID's a bitch.
COVID?
COVID's a bitch.
man. People should talk about it more.
Oh God. So we were going to talk about haunted vessels,
Yeah.
and you said before we started recording tonight, we brought it up, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I went on that one when I was a Boy Scout."
Yeah, I went on that
So
one.
let's start with number 1, the
USS.
USS Constitution.
That's in Quincy, Mass, right?
Yeah, it's one of the nation's 6 original naval ships, and old Ironsides, and it was used, It was used. It was like an
In
actual
the War
boat.
of 1812.
It's so boring. It's
I
so
know you-
boring now. I just want to get to your ghost story when you were a Boy Scout.
I don't have much of one.
And it's on the Freedom Trail. So you went as a Boy Scout? Are you an Eagle Scout? Did you go all the way?
No. In fact, I was not even a Boy Scout for very long.
Oh.
It was funny, you know, your dad's a big part of it. Your dad
Yeah.
goes with you, and my dad was like this Boston cop who'd always be like, "This is so lame." He'd be like, "This is so lame."
They're
Like,
wearing uniforms.
why are we doing this? Yeah. He used to really laugh at the because one guy's dad is like the scout boss, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
wears a Boy Scout uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad couldn't handle this guy.
Yeah. My
And,
kid's getting his Eagle right now.
Yeah.
My stepson, yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if my dad or his brother, one of them did it. Like I thought I kind of liked it, but I think it was like my dad just didn't like this group of guys, the other dads in Milton. But I did it, and I did the soapbox derby, which like
Yes.
the cars.
Yeah,
and
I always
stuff.
wanted to do that.
Pinewood.
Because the
Yeah.
Girl Scouts
Pinewood,
didn't,
yeah.
Yeah.
the brownies and the Girl Scouts didn't do shit. in my
No, they made
Yeah.
us sell cookies.
Yeah, sell cookies.
I didn't do it. I
Oh.
dropped out.
I got asked to leave.
But we did a couple
I
fun
talked
things.
too
We-
much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't like vibing.
Kicked out of the-
They weren't like sad when I was like, I think it's over, guys.
They were like, bye.
Bye.
We
Peace.
below.
This guy doesn't start a fire.
But you
the
went
right
on
way.
this. You went on this overnight.
Yeah, we did an
trip?
overnight there. We did an overnight like the Museum of Science. We did a few
Yes.
of those. You
Those
know.
are like the standard Boy Scout things.
Yeah.
Did you find this ship creepy?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Where'd you sleep?
I think we slept in whatever the crew used to sleep in, these little cots.
No.
But it was just so. I mean, you know, it's an old ship sitting there in Quincy, so it's never not making some kind of creaking
Right.
Oh, yeah.
or spooky noise. And then
Yeah.
you're a little kid. They told us all the stories and stuff like that. So we're all freaking each other out, and
Yeah.
you know, those are some good times though, because there's always that kid who's like really, really scared
Yeah.
and is like maybe gonna ruin this whole thing, and then there's the other kid who's like, I'm not scared, who's like freaking kind of a little scared. I remember trying to scare my fellow Boy Scouts, and then like, this is the comedian or actor or whatever, I started to like believe what I was saying myself,
Right.
and I was scaring myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
was like,
I do.
there was a murder on this ship once, and the guy had giant hands, and he's still here. And I'm like feeling tears in my own eyes.
And then you
My-
see a shadow.
from my
You're
own
like,
fictions.
my imagination is really good.
yeah. I
Yeah.
started to spook myself.
I went on a submarine once. I was doing shows and on bases, and we went on a submarine and talk about claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So like, I love boats, I love ships,
Yeah.
but that was when we were down underneath, and
you're
they're
brave.
just creepy. I feel like they're just creepy in general
Absolutely.
because they're not pretty. There's no promenade deck.
No, it's just like one big hallway.
Yes, scary.
That's what I was. Yeah, submarine
Yeah.
is just a big old hallway.
All right, what else we got, Carolyn?
Are we going
Since
to
we
talk
have the
about
s-
all of these, or
Since
just
we have the
some of these?
same exact.
Carolyn went all the way and highlighted everything.
Well, I didn't highlight last week, and Kelly gave me a
Look
shit
at that. Every.
about
It's
it.
I
not,
did
well, it's not
not.
highlighting if you highlight every single thing.
I
I
highlight a
told
lot.
Kelly. Let's
I
talk
love
about the
to-
Queen Mary, because that's the
Yeah, talk
scariest
about the
one.
Queen Mary. That's the best one.
The Queen Mom.
The Queen
Queen-
Mom.
The RMS Queen Mary is, I think it's in San Diego.
Yeah, this is the other thing we should warn you.
San Diego.
We are loosely reporting here.
Well,
Like-
it doesn't
Oh,
say it's
Yeah.
in California, and you
Yeah.
can stay on it.
Yeah.
They turn, but it was a transport ship during World War II, and it was a passenger liner, and there's a bunch of people that died on it. So it's one of the 10 most haunted places in America, according to Time magazine. People report hearing children in the nursery and seeing a ghost of a young sailor who died in the engine room. The ship, which operates both as a museum and a hotel, offers paranormal tours throughout the year.
Yeah.
Now, I remember this one because I used to watch Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack.
Me too.
Yes.
In
if
the,
you or anyone you know.
Right, so this one was on there, and there was I remember it vividly because there was a ghost of a kid that was in the pool, and it left footprints.
Oh yeah.
And they did a reenactment that was like wicked fucking scary. Like,
Yeah.
they showed the feet and it
Yeah.
disappeared, and I know it's just they did camera work or whatever, but
That
that's
stuff
what
is
people
cool.
described, and it was really cool.
No, I mean that show. Just the thing he used to say
Yeah.
Yeah.
would scare me when he'd be like,
If
"Maybe
you-
you will
Yeah.
solve this mystery." I'd be like, "Me?"
Yeah.
And
Knows
then
the
my brother would be
whereabouts
like,
or location.
Yeah.
Of,
There's
yeah.
a reenactment on one of those where Matthew McConaughey plays the person.
Really?
It's like
Get
one of his
out.
first acting jobs. You should Google it.
That's
It's
funny.
hilarious. He's in a bathrobe on the front of the lawn.
I always wanted. I love a dramatic reenactment.
Oh, so do I. I
Right.
like the half run. Where they're like, no. and they're like running, or they come in with groceries and they're clearly just empty bags.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she answered the phone and said hello, and then it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Or they pick an actor that looks nothing like the person. And
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not, it's in a reenactment, I get that, but come on.
They're always better looking
The
too.
ultimate. And there was a show on, I forget, it was about medicine, it was about doctors, but they'd have the doctors play themselves in the reenactment, but the patient and everyone else would be actors, so it was like the greatest thing. It was like when someone gets invited onto a stage in an improv club.
Yes.
It was like, there's like all these people being like, oh, I'm so sick, and no, this one guy's like, please, nurse, get us more Hydrocol. Yes. What's wrong today? Like, I used to love it. I think it was called like my ER disaster or something like that.
Oh my God.
But the Queen Mary's something I would like to go stay on and see if.
For sure.
Because like the ghost that haunts the engine room is someone that died like during World War II, I think, and is just there doing their job still, like a residual haunt. Like they don't know they're dead, and they've had like ghost hunters and stuff go in there, and he just like he died in some accident.
Do you think that's true of all ghosts, though, that they don't know they're dead? Or
No.
do you think there's
There's
some
two-
ghosts that know?
Kelly, there's two types of haunts, okay? There's an intelligent haunt that can answer you, that's just sticking around for whatever reason. And then there's a residual haunt where someone died tragically, usually, and they're just going through the motions. They're going through the same thing that they did every day because they don't know they're dead.
I think that's kind of I am.
I feel like that a lot when I do stand-up comedy.
I felt like that at that
Is that
gig
me
we
when
did
I'm
last week.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's two schools of
So
thought
that
on
first type of ghost then is the one that you pick up an EVP.
You can, or you just hear
Both
noise.
give EVPs.
Or you hear noises, like they're just like ting,
Yeah.
ting, because they're doing their job and they're just going through the motion.
This was what I struggled with when I was on the ghost hunt a couple in February.
Yes.
I was like, some of this is a lot of us sort of putting words into their mouth, into
Right.
the ghost's mouth, or
Yeah.
into the spirits. You know, I go, well, who's to say, you know, it's a boy named Daniel who loves race. Like, they were like, he likes cars. I'm like, why? You know, like, I think
Does he?
Let's back up, though,
Oh, yeah.
because
that's true.
so in February,
February.
you were on a ghost hunt.
Yes, my wife, speaking of Dr. Wife, she loves, this is her.
Oh, my God.
This
Make
is her-
those T-shirts and I'll wear
I know,
them.
this is a pretty good one,
Dr. Wife.
Medicine
Yep.
Wife.
Dr. Wife, medicine
Woman.
woman.
Tim Crowley with the assist.
Yes!
uh,
Tim Crowley,
it
producer
was,
extraordinaire.
it was, so that was her COVID thing. Like, she got into, during the quarantines and lockdown, she got into ghost television, ghost hunters.
I've always loved, since
Yeah.
I was a kid, like reading ghost stories and like,
So you watch the shows like on.
yeah. Ghost Hunters is my
the ones
favorite.
down in Rhode Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got into that show, especially her, and I'm down for it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go, right? So I was like, what do you want to do for your birthday this year? And she's like, I want to go on a ghost hunt. So we found that the real Conjuring house is like right
In Rhode Island.
in Rhode Island, and TAPS, the
Jason Hawes.
the
and
Jason Hawes
Taps.
Paranormal Act, they run it. So it's like
Oh, they run it?
They run it, yeah. So it's
Oh, I
kind of
didn't know
like
You just
that.
made Carolyn's entire
Jason's
day.
daughter was the one who was like our tour
Satori.
guy, Satori. Yeah.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
all the players. in the
Satori
game,
was
my
the one
friend.
who
They're
kind
gonna
of
make me
Was
go
Satori
there.
in there?
Yeah, Satori and Cody. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So
They're gonna make me go.
Satori and Cody.
She knows them.
No, because they
Oh.
do a weird thing that even her dad Jason doesn't.
Oh, they're
Did
like
they do the thing where they
love.
go through the alphabet and they
Yeah.
hold hands?
Yeah.
No one's ever done that.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
So I'm gonna explain.
Sorry, I get very excited and also
Satori-
nervous.
Taps is the
And I'm
the-
yelling.
Kelly, Taps is the original Ghost Hunters.
Yes,
as you know.
when we were roommates, you used to make me watch that.
Yes.
Does it scare you?
What?
Are you getting scared right now?
No!
I
So
think you
Jason
are.
I think this previously Abercrombie and Fish building is not haunted, but when it was just a Faneuil Hall building, it might have been.
It is dark in here.
It is. I don't
So-
know why is it so dark in
I
here.
like it.
I've never noticed
So
that.
Jason Hawes' daughter now does Ghost Hunters.
Jason's the bald cutie, right?
Yes,
Yes,
the really
okay.
tall
Star.
one. He's the star of the show because him and Grant had a falling out. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, it's a whole
So-
nother podcast.
Oh
trust
my
me.
god.
So his daughter, her name is Satori, and I don't know if it's her boyfriend, her partner.
They're married.
They are married.
Yeah.
So her husband, Cody,
Doctor husband.
her doctor husband, Cody, they found out that when they hold hands and they ask questions of the spirits, that if they go through the alphabet, they'll be able to figure out their names. Like they both feel it at the same time. It's bizarre, but It's true. Like they just that's how they ghost hunt. So like I just watched an episode where they spelled out a guy's name. He ended up being a jailer at the jail that they were at, and he told them where his missing pen was, and they found it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's bizarre.
That's like, I mean, that's not all they do. That's
No,
one of their
but that's
tricks.
one
They
of-
find pens.
Yeah.
No,
Well, so they were
they're interesting.
them and another guy were our they were like our 3 leaders of this ghost thing. And we went there. We took it, the funniest thing, honest to God, was like the other people on the tour.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
Do you sleep there?
You can, but we
Did
did
you?
not. No, we did not. But we were there from 7:00 until I think 1 in the morning.
You went in nighttime?
Yeah, you do it at night. Yeah. And Kelly, half of it is they just turn off.
I don't know why I'm so.
Half of it. I went in like a closet. They turn off every light in the whole place.
You let them?
I let
That's
them
how
do
they
that.
hunt, Kelly.
We
I
did
can't stop
crazy. I
talking,
did
like-
crazy things that night that I like wouldn't have ever.
I want
thought.
to do that.
I-
I think it would be awesome.
So do you know what
You're
Estes
gonna make me do
is?
this, and I don't
No.
want.
So this Estes, the thing. Do you want to hear like the part?
I want you to stop. Everybody stop for a second.
Do you want to hear the parts that scare me the most? I'm
No,
getting
I
goosebumps.
want to hear. I need more information immediately. Back up.
All right, so-
what happens when you arrive?
So you arrive and Satori
Did I
comes
just
out.
spit on you?
No, I
feel
didn't
like
feel
I
it.
Spit on your cheek. Okay,
Satori
go ahead.
says, hi, I'm Satori. Jason Hawes is
I think it's called ectoplasm in this atmosphere.
I'll be your
damn
guide
it,
to-
You show up. You hang outside with a bunch of ghost hunters.
How
like
many
yourself.
other people did
There was
you
probably
have?
like 9 or 10.
Holy
besides
shit!
us.
Any standouts?
Oh, I mean, if I was gonna do, I was of course thinking there's gonna be a stand-up bit in this somewhere, and I'm like trying to sort of mentally take notes, and I was like, I think the bit is the other people, like, because there's like a lot of couples of varying degrees of sort of seriousness. I mean, you couldn't go there, I don't think, and be like, this is a joke, because you would stand out so much. The other
Yeah.
people look at you like, this is not a joke.
You mean like when someone goes to like an escape room and they're like, "This is stupid. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this," but you're locked in.
Yeah, like it's
So
not.
just help.
It's not like they're super serious and it's not fun, but like if you like made fun of it or something,
Yeah.
you would be. It wouldn't be like someone else would laugh. Everyone would just be like, "Come on, man!" Like,
And it must cost money.
yeah.
It's not like they're like, "Come
I'm
on
sure
in."
it's not.
No,
You're
it
gonna
was
scare
worth
the
it
crap
though.
out
It
of
was. It wasn't super expensive. It was a couple $100. Like,
All right, so you arrive. Sorry.
Yeah,
You
so
arrive
you
and
arrive,
then
and then they kind of let you in, and that's the first step. They give you like the rules. The rules are like, the rules are all over the place. They're like, no gum and no disrespecting the ghosts and no like no
That's a big
no yelling. You can say like, "Hello, I'm here. Can you talk to me?" But you can't be like, "You won't come out. What are you scared?" Like,
Oh,
they
don't egg 'em on.
Don't
Not
antagonize
like Ghost
them.
Adventures when Zach is like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like
they
that
don't
show.
like those guys.
Oh, he's the one that's like,
Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
and then he's like, I feel hot, and then he has to go
Yeah.
outside and like put his head between
Yeah.
his knees.
Well, he has allergies.
So the first thing they do
You
is
hate him, and then you were like, he does have allergies, and that's
No,
a very
I can't
serious.
stand him. He
Okay.
always tries to provoke the ghost.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah. Will's like, what's the matter?
Oh, I was just thinking. I was trying to remember what
Yeah.
it was like. I was thinking. That was my thinking face.
I thought you were remembering something like really scary.
No,
You're
I
like,
was trying to think about.
I don't know if I should tell them this.
It was one of those things that I will say, and I've said this to everyone who asked me about it. Like, I felt it from like not even just like going in. Like when you pull in, you're like, this is scary. This place is something's
So
going
you
on in
felt
this place.
a vibe immediately.
We both did. We were like, man, this place. Even the road leading to it is really weird. It has
'Cause
a
it's
weird
a
energy.
really old farmhouse, right?
Yeah.
And do you watch the movies?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We
boy.
watch a lot. Almost, I would say 90% of the movies my wife and I watch are like horror or ghost movies, and that was not my way before I met her. This is her
No,
influence.
she brought you in.
I
Yeah.
love movies like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Changeling with George C. Scott?
I don't think so.
It's
actually.
an old, if you can find it, it's an
I'll check
old
that out.
ghost story, and it's wicked creepy. It's a little hokey because of what we've seen since then, but it's a really good story if you can hang in.
I'll
for the
check
whole
that.
thing.
You say I talk about Payne Lindsay from Tenderfoot TV too much. You talk about the Changeling just as much.
Oh, I have
I
to watch
think
it
his
now.
doctor wife would like it.
Oh,
Dr.
fair
White will
enough.
like it.
I have it
Dr.
if you
Wife.
wanna borrow it.
Dr.
no,
Wife.
she's gonna get her own podcast.
So
So you
okay,
wa-
so
so
you
then
go
they-
in,
the
they
first-
give you the rules.
Yeah, they give you the rules. It's all cool. You sign a waiver.
What's the waiver say?
The waiver says a lot. Literally on the waiver, it's like if you're possessed by a demon, we are not responsible. Like it's stuff like that. I think I have a picture of it
I
somewhere.
would
Kelly's
be down the street at a Hampton Inn.
But I thought,
I'd be like,
see,
no.
that was the part I felt like I go, this is show business here. This is them going, because it does. It evokes fear in you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's also stuff on there. It's like if you fall and break your leg.
Well, fair. Yeah.
You know, so we're in this ancient colonial house.
Right.
Another thing that I kept thinking, I go, this house is so spooky, but like if you grew up in New England, you've been in houses like this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, your friends had houses
one of the
like
people
this.
that
Exactly.
supposedly lived there was a Satanist.
Yes. Yeah.
Bathsheba Sherman.
But also people have lived there.
Sherman.
Sheba Sherman?
It was just clear right away. The first thing they do is they take you on a lights on tour of the whole house really
good.
fast.
Okay.
Right? But it was clear right away, like we're in like one room and there's stuff on the ceiling sort of lightly spinning around, like just stuff that's like hanging there.
Like a fan?
It was like a flower bouquet because they kept it in kind of the old style. I don't even know. So then they take us in the basement and she's kind of going, the basement was definitely the most haunted part of this place. So we're in the basement and they're like, where lights are on. It's the real official stuff hasn't started yet. And Satori's kind of like telling us all this stuff. And I'm like standing there and I say to Claire, I'm like, I swear to God, I feel like I just felt like something is touching my arm down here, right? But I'm like, it's probably just me. I'm probably getting excited, right?
It was a spider.
So then, like 40 seconds after I say this, she's like, and then the basement's kind of known for this ghost we have. She really likes men. She really likes, so if any of you guys start to feel like you're getting felt up, like that's what this ghost does.
She's
and
a
I'm
whore.
like, get out of here, right?
Great.
So then,
ghost.
you know, the tour starts. They turn all the lights off. And you go in a room. This is where I felt like it was.
Do you get a flashlight?
No, but they give you like tools, you know, the EVP meters and the things that light up. And
How do you see?
you kind of don't. You don't like. You just stay still.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a couple times we got our cell phone lights out.
Okay.
That part was like kind of whatever. Then we get down to the basement and they do this thing called Estes where they hook up a machine to like it's like a radio that's like constantly flicking
Oh,
through
that's like
channels.
the spirit box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spirit box. It's flicking through channels. Someone puts the headphones on and you see if you can hear words.
Yeah.
So the way they do it is the person with the headphones on is kind of in a room by themselves, like 10 feet away. Everyone goes in this other place that you can't hear the
Right.
questions. So you in the circle, the people kind of ask questions like, "Are you here?" And then you wait a couple seconds to see if the person in the room with the headphones on goes like, "Yes," right? And this was the part that was so crazy.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because we're standing there and we're just standing there and I'm totally
And the radio's going
I said to my wife, I go,
And
like,
you're in the basement.
I'm her companion. I'm not doing my regular, you know, asshole Will Noonan thing where I'm like talking to everyone and being like, oh, like gregarious. I'm trying to just be like a good husband and just go along for this ride, right?
Yeah.
So we're standing there and one of this other women on the tour goes under Estes and she's yelling stuff out and some of it's starting to make sense. Are you there? You know, and what do you want? And da-da-da. And then all of a sudden this woman starts yelling out like random things and she goes, stand up. She goes, special. She goes, laughter. Like, and she's saying all this stuff, and Dr. Wife is freaking out. She's like, he's a comedian. He's a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian. And
Did they recognize you maybe, though?
so I go, well, not this girl, not this woman, I don't think, who was under Estes, but I'm also going, stand-up could have been like, stand up, like, literally. But then what freaked me out was, before we went in, me and my wife both did like a McGillicuddy's
Of course you
nip in the car before we went in. And then the thing was like, it said like bottles. It said like drink. And I'm like looking at Claire. I'm like, it knows. And and then it kind of felt like, so then I'm holding this kind of like thing while this is happening. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree. So Satori gets all excited. She's like, you have to go under Estes. Like, you have to go in there.
Because it's trying to reach out to you.
It likes you. It likes you or something. So I go in there. I put the headphones on. This was the part that was like the most scary to me because I really did kind of feel like I went someplace. Like, you know, I'm a meditator.
Yeah.
So I kind of like went. That's what I felt like I did. I didn't feel like I went to some realm, but I went into like a trance, a little bit of meditative trance, and I'm listening to this thing, and I'm doing my best to really not try not to hear something on purpose, you know, because it's tempting to be like, I heard, you know, because one guy said downloading. I'm like, a ghost said downloading. Bro. Like, you're hearing what you want to hear, you know? So I'm trying, and I really was like, I can't hear what they're saying. So I'm really just yelling out random words, and apparently, like, they were like, a lot of it made sense.
So I'm so sorry. We need to take a step back. So under Estes, you are listening to this thing, and then are you saying words that you
Yeah,
think.
it sounds like someone clicking. Like it sounds like on an old radio
you
when you would
can't hear
spin
the
the dial.
questions.
No, I can't hear the questions. I'm literally just hearing like. It was like a second of an advertisement, sometimes a second of a song. Sometimes you'd like recognize, you'd be like, that was Eminem's voice. Like I heard that for a second. But then all of a sudden, like clear as day, it would say like, get out. Or like, I forget. It was the creepiest thing I heard was probably like just it going like, yes, no, yes. And you don't know what you're saying yes or no to, you know?
Because you have like noise can't.
Yeah.
Like, all
It's
you hear
all
is
you
the
hear
white
is
noise.
the sting.
And the words.
And when she finally came in and was like, tap me, I was like, and then I really felt strange for like about 15, 20 minutes after. I was like, man, I feel really weird. Like I felt like I'd like huffed gasoline or
So
something.
did they tell you what the gasoline forever.
forever.
Did they tell you what questions they were yelling out?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Well, Dr. Wife was in the group too, and she said some of it was just not making any sense. They were laughing at me too because I was giving it like my full theater school diction.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yes.
stand up. You know what I mean? I'm giving it like the full.
Yes.
So they were laughing. You're really, using your diction there.
Acting.
But yeah, but it was creepy, and then they just kind of go like, all right, now you have an hour to sort of just investigate on your own with our tools that we've shown you how to use and stuff like that.
Nice. Did anything just happen to you and Dr. Wife?
Not really. When we were in we went into the closet and like we both felt like there was a third person in the closet, but there wasn't.
It's a closet.
But I don't know. The thing I took away from it all was sort of this, do you know like the Bermuda Triangle? I think there's just like Bermuda Triangles all over the place. And we don't know like I thought the energies and like the weird things happening with these instruments was very real. And
Is there any limestone or water near there?
I have no clue.
Because that's something that supposedly
There are dead Native Americans in the backyard. There's this
that's another.
There are.
Indian burial ground
That can
there,
generate
a legitimate
energy.
one.
That's
But
like Poltergeist, the movie.
It feels like, so my like sort of pothead theory on ghosts and stuff is like when something awful happens, like a murder or suicide or something, it leaves sort of like a stamp on like space and time, you know?
Absolutely.
And if you go back to these places, you feel something there. And I think as human beings, we can't make sense of all that. So we're like, it's a boy named John and he loves cars and he pushes this and pushes that. And I don't know if it's all that. I think we might be sort of anamorphizing these, whatever they are, beings. But there's like definitely an undeniable something is weird about this property.
Do you think that we might be controlling it more than we realize?
I would say there's a huge, I think, because I noticed this with some of my fellow tour guides or tour mates who were like, they were hearing and feeling stuff they wanted to hear and feel, you know, because they get vague, you know, they're like, does anyone else feel like they're being watched? I'm like, I don't know, every second of my life.
Yeah.
Have you been in public?
Yeah.
There's CCTVs everywhere.
You know there's cameras.
And then, and even in this ghost house, there's cameras everywhere too.
Right.
Yeah, because they don't want you touching stuff.
Yeah, like, so if you sleep there, there's a sign that says, like, no sex, no making out, because, like, you're basically making pornography because they're filming you all the time. They film everything all the time in case something happens, you know?
That is a whole episode that we have to talk about where there's got to be people that are like, let's go get it on, because that's how every horror movie starts. It's two people getting it on or making out.
I want to get it and, like, spend the night there with a few friends and, like, have some beers and just see how, because it would be terrifying.
Well,
absolutely.
It'd be terrifying. Let's do it.
No, I'm not doing it. Carolyn will go do it with you.
It's very spooky, and yeah, it was wild. We had a great time. I think I'll do it again too.
For
honestly.
real?
Yeah, I would do it again.
Take Carolyn.
Yeah, I recommend it. I highly, highly, highly recommend it to the people. That's what I wrote the next day. Like I was like, oh, everyone should go to this because you get the feeling that it's a little bit of a small business as well. It's kind of a local small business.
Now, do they live there?
They live there 1 week out of the month. They're kind of like caretakers.
The stipulation is in the article that I printed
Carolyn.
out and
Highlighted.
is that no one can live there year round because of the energy in the house.
Yeah, it's sort of
because this woman bought it for $1.5 million, and that was the stipulation.
She sent me an email. It's that woman who bought it. She sent me an email thanking me for my nice review.
Yeah, she's
Wow.
Boston.
I was like, look at me, hobnobbing with ghost house owners.
I feel like we should bring up your review and have you read it.
It was an incident, no, but I did do the
On
whole thing.
Yelp?
I was like, it was life-changing in a way because
She's a property developer from Boston, the woman that bought
yeah.
it. And then
Right.
She's also she's kind of like you though. She's a massive fan.
Yeah.
So that's why she bought it. She
Yeah.
was afraid it was going to just go into
It's around my own belief she's holding Boston.
yeah. She was afraid, someone would just buy it and live in it. And she was like, this needs to be experienced by people, which I agree with. It was
Yeah.
and
And that one's in Rhode Island, but isn't there another Conjuring type house in Connecticut? Am I making that up?
No, the Conjuring movies were started to talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren and what they did.
They were in
they're
Connecticut.
Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
Connecticut.
They're
yeah.
in Connecticut.
I mean,
But they're also
even though the truth about them is way different than the
they're
movies.
controversial because they think
Yeah.
they're really good at telling ghost stories. And then I found in this, we didn't talk about this last week, but there was an incident where Ed Warren was accused of starting a relationship with a very young girl.
Yeah.
And he
live or
had-
dead? A ghost girl or a human girl?
No, like a brown
Hey, listen,
chicken
it was
brown
legal in
wearing-
the Civil War, okay?
Yeah. You guys ever see Little House on the Prairie?
No, he started a relationship and had Lorraine's approval, and that was very controversial.
Yeah, no, I heard
Wow.
some stories about him even on the tour that they were like,
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
really?
Oh
They
yeah,
talking
they're
about
like,
him on the
don't.
tour?
He was
They're like,
kind
it's
of
not
a
the.
perv.
That's what I loved about it. They take a very scientific approach to everything.
All right.
And an almost, I would say, almost a new age or modern age kind of relationship to the spirits. They're not. It's all like, hey, like we love you. Like we love you however you are. Like come on, talk to us. It's kind of a fun thing.
All right.
Yeah.
And what about the ABCD, the alphabet thing where they hold hands?
I only caught a glimpse of that. It was kind of funny.
Did they do it?
Poor Cody had just had his hip replaced.
Oh wow,
Oh.
he's young.
He is young. He's a cancer survivor, so he had like bone cancer. So
I
he had
wonder
to
if
have.
that's why he can talk to spirits.
I thought. I honestly thought that they were so nice.
Yeah, they seem cool.
Yeah.
Like, all those guys seem cool on that show. Though.
Yeah, I was immediately overcome with like, don't act like you're not taking this seriously. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't disrespect these people. But they were cool. Like, I don't know. But it was kind of, there were a couple of times where I just kind of wanted to be like, yeah, I wanted to ask him that. Like, do you think maybe because you like, I don't know, we're like
Close to death.
friends with death there for a minute, like something more, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so he had just had his hip replaced and he's walking. Dr. Wife, physical therapist, was like, whoa, 2 weeks ago he's walking around giving us a ghost tour. Like she was more impressed by that than
Right.
anything. So I think he was kind of like exhausted or whatever.
They're kind of objective though. Like when they go into a house, they don't go in there expecting to see all these claims.
That's the whole thing. They're
And
like
they try to
debunking.
debunk
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because the last one I just watched on Ghost Hunters, this woman says it was a mine disaster.
Yeah.
And they dug from one mine to the other to get these people out. And by the time they got there, they were dead from the gas.
Ugh.
Oh,
They
shit.
were stuck underground, and it showed like they showed the time where the gas was. Like, they had written on the wall, and they didn't even finish the last
Oh,
because
yeah.
they died. So it was, no, it was like really tragic.
No, I know. I'm just laughing because it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
because they died.
They
'Cause they
started.
died.
They started to put the time of death,
Yeah.
but then they died. So
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
it's coming.
but
That was
this-
the last note. Was like about to die.
About, yeah,
About
like
to
it
die.
just-
TTYL,
it
about
just
to die.
Belted D.
I'm
But
so dead.
one of the ladies that runs the museum that they have, there's a gold mine or something. She said, "I see people outside all the time," and they were like, "Okay, you know."
Yeah.
And so then they were filming outside, and they saw what looked like a person, but
Ugh.
it was translucent, walking with like a lantern, because no one ever has a cell phone.
Right.
It's always at somebody old. So they were walking with a lantern, and they tried to debunk it. They went in the same place, and they walked, and they showed a real person, and they couldn't
Yeah.
recreate it.
No, I definitely think there's
There's something.
something going on.
Did
I think that's
you-
energy that's still there.
You weren't like this before, Dr. Wife?
I mean, I was I would
mean-
say like an agnostic kind of, I don't like disbelieve it, but I
Yeah.
also kind of like, part of me is sort of like, well, we have cameras everywhere now, so if there's ghosts all over the place, like you think there'd be a new video every day,
Right.
But
Right. I
find it
maybe it's different. Maybe
fascinating,
it's
though.
more than that. Maybe it's something.
Do you, as we ask all the guests this, do you have something in your life that happened that made you believe? Was
yeah.
this the thing?
No, well, this
Because you're a touring comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had stuff happen to us on the road.
I that was what I was gonna say. So
Yeah.
on the road is the
Tell
big
me.
thing. So I have this.
Tell us.
I'd say the event. I've had a few things like seeing something on the road like that could have been fog, but also kind of looked like a person.
Yeah.
Or weird stuff in the skies I've seen driving around late at night. But the biggest thing, and this is really freaky. This thing that happened to me. It was, I know the air in here is weird. When I'm trying to remember the year, but one of my good friends from high school, this kid who used to always, he always used to say, like, you should do stand-up when I was just trying to be an actor.
Okay.
He was like, you should be doing stand-up. He's like, that's what you should be doing. And I remember being like, what? You know, and
Yeah, how do you do that?
he wasn't really, like, no one else was saying it. And then I became a stand-up, and this guy was, like, so happy for me, and I always thanked him for kind of doing that. Anyway, he ended up dying, right? Tragically. So it was tough. You know, we all went to the funeral and everything. It was like a week after the funeral. At this point I was emceeing and sort of getting started. I wasn't like, you know, full-time comic yet even. And I was driving home from a gig late at night, and I'm driving right past the cemetery where he's buried in. And I'm driving home, just not thinking of anything, like just totally chill, nothing out of the ordinary. And all of a sudden there's like a pounding on the roof of my car, a Volvo.
I mean.
Like, and I swear on everything holy, I swear on my doctor wife, my parents, my future kids, it was like boom, boom, like someone just going like this,
like
right?
rapping.
Like just kind of like going like bang, bang, bang. And to the point where I could not even come up with an excuse in my mind. Like, I'm like, unless I knew I wasn't driving under even like trees. It felt like almost coconuts or something were like falling on the roof of the car. Or I'm like, what is going on? And I was close to home, so I literally just like kind of tried to not think about it and drive fast as I could. And when I got into my parking spot, I swear to God, I jumped out of my car and like looked at it because I expected there to be a crazy homeless person or something on my roof. Like that's what it's like.
Was it the whole way to your house?
It was like. But yeah, so the cemetery was near my house, so it was kind of like this, maybe less than a quarter mile, and you know, it wasn't like a malicious pounding or anything like that. But we've all had a few of those.
Oh,
but it was,
it
was, but it was.
It's Carolyn's stripper name.
The
malicious
timing
pound.
of it. And that same guy, and I put him in the special thanks on this new comedy special I have coming out May 17th because I put his name in there because I ended up, a couple weeks after that, I was on stage at Next Comedy Stop and I swore I was seeing him in the audience. So
he
both.
was just trying to tell you that you're on the right path.
And if you knew this guy, he was he would be the guy who would haunt somebody.
Yeah.
Like he was
in a positive way?
In a positive way.
Yeah.
Like he would want to check in and do this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's always, I still think about it all the time, but that to me was like the hardest proof that like something's going on because there's nothing on the roof of a car that can do that. You know, there's nothing
you weren't
even
under
in there.
trees,
Right.
You weren't,
you know, and
there wasn't rocks.
And it was like no mistaking it pounding on the roof of the car.
I mean,
like, and that's not one of those things you hear all the time. So. And then I remember like it was one of those things that was so crazy I didn't even tell anyone for like months because I was I'm like, people think I'm insane.
right.
Yeah.
And then you thought you saw him at a show.
And then I thought I saw him at a show one time and I was like, wow, that's nuts. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was to the point where afterwards I was like kind of running through the crowd to find what I was expecting, which would be like a look-alike.
Right,
you know? Like,
right.
Because that can happen too. Where you see someone, you're like, is that so-and-so? And you're like, oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But... yeah, that was, it's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Where I was like, is that him? Is that spooky?
Yeah,
very
and
spooky.
so you were, I mean, you were a grown person.
Oh, yeah,
not
no.
like you were a little
no,
kid.
it's like 27 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was, and it's not like I'm walking around going, this kind of thing is happening to me all the time.
Right,
like, this is it,
It's
you know?
one thing.
But it was one of those things that made me go, something's going on, like, in the world, in the atmosphere. I really think it's something we truly can't understand. Like, even if we sort of had it in the science and could understand, we couldn't understand. It's like the same way like an ant can't understand like an iPhone. We can't understand this stuff.
I think it's really
It's just
this is
beyond our
what-
comprehension.
This might be one of the answers we get when we go.
That's a great point.
right.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that we don't know about. And then when we go on to whatever's next, if there is a next, that's when those answers are
Yeah.
told to us.
Damn.
I know. This isn't some fluffy podcast.
No, this is like this is one of those podcasts where you drive home with the radio off and you just
yeah.
you just kind of think
real
to
deep.
yourself.
There's no facts given other than what we find on the internet. Yet we're solving all of it.
Well, I feel proud to be here, but I'm also going to listen. I was thinking on the way here, I go, what a nice couple voices to like listen to when you're driving around. You guys both have great voices.
Yeah, I mean, we really love it. And we
Tim's nodding like, yep, that's why we're going to make money.
We're going to Will, thank you for coming to join us. Are you going to come back?
Oh, I would love to. We haven't even scratched the surface.
That's what I'm saying.
I live in a
I
haunted
usually have
dorm in New York City.
Oh, shit,
Oh,
really?
nice.
Yeah,
yes.
college dorm. I got some ghost stories for days. And I'm always down to, do another ghost hunt and talk to you guys.
I was
about
just
I would
going to
love
say,
to
so
do
one of
that.
the things that we want to do this season on the Fraidy Cat is we want to go to some haunted places together because I like going, and it is beyond terrifying to me. So we're going to try to, would you go on a field trip with us?
I would,
Will,
and
Noonan?
I also, it's me and my wife, that's what we said after that when we were driving back. Talk about, we felt like children again.
Yeah.
It's that kind of fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like fun, scary.
It's fun,
Scare
scary,
yourself.
and it's the kind of thing you just don't have anymore in your adult life.
Yeah.
And we said that. I go, that was just such a weird way to spend a night, but also such the most unique, fun night. Like
What
it
a
was,
fun,
Absolutely.
you're a fun hubs.
just fills you with energy, positive energy. But I bet you guys could get Satori and Cody like no problem on here. That would be a great episode.
I love this is
Yeah.
the Will Noonan way of life for everybody who's just meeting. I mean, if you've never heard of Will Noonan, this is him. He's like, we're like, hey, Will, you want to go to Salem with us? And Will's like, I think you can get these people on your podcast. Will, thank you for coming on. We're gonna have you on again for sure. We really appreciate it. And also,
Thanks, guys.
you have your special coming out. Can we please plug that?
Yeah, I think we can now,
Let's
right?
plug the
Yes.
special.
May
yeah.
17th. Tim worked
Yes.
hard on it. He was a director of photography.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it looks great. You're really, really happy with it.
I could not be happier.
I love it.
I'm psyched.
You film that
Yes.
at Capo?
At Capo. I'm so
And it comes
psyched.
out when?
May 17th.
May 17th, and they'll be able to find it.
Be able to find it. It'll probably
Yeah. We're not talking about it
close
yet.
your eyes and look up to the sky.
If you want to follow Will Noonan on Instagram, which is probably the best place to get your info, right?
Absolutely. Will Noonan, the comedian. It's like a lot.
I love it.
Oh,
It's the
it's
best.
better than mine.
Yeah, but
What-
if you get in Will Noonan, you'll find me.
I love how Carolyn's like, it's better than mine.
Well, because I didn't know that they shall be the same. So mine is Carolyn P. Comic.
Oh, I know.
That's a tough one to find.
yeah. Well, everybody spells my name wrong, so
Yeah.
yeah.
What's yours?
I'm just Kelly McFarland. That's all of my handles are my name.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and everybody spells it.
I have a
MC.
feeling that when we're like in nursing homes,
Yeah.
that's what they'll say about our generation. Like, these ones took all the usernames.
Yeah, we did.
We
Yeah.
got all the OGs.
Sorry.
Like Will Noonan on Twitter. I like no other Will Noonan after
Yeah.
me. Goodbye.
Yeah,
you know.
and being the number
One,
one or
two, three,
two,
four,
yeah,
five.
exactly.
Like your daughter, if you name her like Kelly McFarland, your future daughter.
Oh, that's sweet that you think I can still have children.
If you name her Kelly Mac, she'll be like, Mom, I'm Kelly Mac 9000 because of you. Your whole generation of takers.
Oh my gosh, we love you, Will. Thanks for
Love you
tuning in on the
guys.
Fraidy Cat podcast. I'm Kelly McFarland,
I'm Carolyn Plummer.
and we'll see you next time.